Good afternoon, everybody. We are here in Encino with Andrew Spitz, live today.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Season 2, Episode 6. Time keeps flying. Before we start, just want to let you know they're a little late. Better late than never, Berkshire Hathaway. But we got our Diamond Award for being in the top of our company. We ranked in the top 100. So thank you. So it's a pleasure working. We work for the best company. I love Berkshire Hathaway. A lot of great benefits for this company, and that's why I'm here. I can work anywhere, but this is the best. Here at Spitz Camera Group, we're selling a lifestyle with results that will move you from condos to castles. So we handle everything. So nothing's too small or too big. We've handled deals a couple $100,000, and we've handled deals at 9 million, 10 million. So we're here to help you. And if you're not buying or selling, you just need some help, can't find a painter or a handyman, we have them. A lot of people are very busy right now, so it's hard to get, and I can help you with that. I have a lot of connections. So I'm not going to really go into COVID today, but I'll tell you one thing that I find kind of interesting. Now they require masks. Can you believe it? They're requiring masks inside of McDonald's, Target, and
The Gap.
Did I miss something, Margie? Or didn't we always have to wear a mask? Why is it now required? And I just don't know. Going into other news, sad news, I report John Douglas, Jack, his real name is Jack, passed away this past week in his home in Bel Air. He was 73 years old. He was an icon. He was the sign of respect. That was his slogan. He had the mansion, and he was wonderful. He started his company in 71 with Dan Emmett on San Vicente Boulevard. By the time they closed shop, they had over 70 offices with 2,500 salespeople. So kudos, he was an inspiration to me in my early years, and before I got in real estate, I looked up and respected him, along with Mike Glickman, which I mentioned in the past, who was a mentor to me and helped me with my early career. Thank you, Mike. I just closed a deal with Mike. I mean, utmost professional. It was wonderful working with him. Great deal. Thank you so much, Mike. Love you. Thanks again. Baseball was back, and as you know how much I love baseball, I am glued to the set, flipping back and forth from the Dodgers and the Angels. Mookie, love you, Mookie. The whole team is just wonderful. We lost last night, but I know we'll get them. The sad news on the part, even though I'm not really trying to get into the COVID-19, is the Marlins had tested positive. They had 29 positive tests through Thursday, 21 from the Marlins in baseball. So that was no bueno, and hopefully contain it. The Dodgers came up with some of their own ground rules to help prevent it spreading, which is wonderful, and hopefully we can continue this baseball season and will prevail. There are some surprise teams. Not that I'd say this is a surprise team, but the Yankees are off to a nice start at 5-1, and the Padres, our down south partner, is doing well at 6-2. They have a nice young nucleus of players. Congratulations to them. I'm not hot properties, but I have a story for you. I met Jack Black with his girlfriend Laura Keitlinger, a writer for Will and Grace, back in the early days of Will and Grace, because my wife was working on the show. As you know, she's a writer, and I'd be on the set with Jack and Jim Burrows and Tim Kaiser, who was a producer along with Jim on Seinfeld. So I used to kid around with him on the set all the time, and he was great. He just sold his Hollywood home. His old home was sold. Him and Laura were dating all the way up to 2005 before he met his wife and got married. So a little bit of celebrity news. Next week we're going to have some celebrity news of who's moving to Encino, which I'm sure you want to know. There's a lot of movement going on in Encino. We're creating a different format for you, so stay tuned and tune in. As the real estate updates, the housing market continues to surge. It is crazy. I'm going to have stats in a minute. It is crazy. It's still going through the roof. Interest rates are really low. As I mentioned previously in another Ask Andrew, we had a client who got a $2.8 million loan, and through one of our lenders, their payment is under $6,000 a month, which is amazing. I mean, that's really low and really good if you're looking for a home and you want a space. She was renting at $10,000 a month, which her payments and everything are now less than where she was renting in this apartment in the West Side. So now she has this beautiful home. She's on Stansbury. Eileen, I'm talking about you. Wonderful home, one of my favorites. Beautiful, beautiful home, not a cookie cutter home. According to Realtor.com, there's a backlog of buyers across a segment of housing market, and the lower numbers of homes available for sales at all price points, giving the sellers more leverage. So it is a seller's market, as some of my buyers that I'm working with now and the ones we put into escrow, they realize that things sell very quickly. I have a few that only wanted to go out on the weekends, and the houses would be sold, and there's nothing that we can do about it. And so now they are going out a little quicker and responding a little quicker, but there's strategies to getting homes. And it's all about the relationships, and the relationships that I've created along with my partner Harriet and Fran are able to prevail on a lot of multiple offers. In fact, I have a new client that I just took on that had tried to buy a couple houses and wasn't successful, and I told them that it won't. They wrote 6 different offers and didn't get it. I said it will take me less than 6. I'll probably get it in the first or second try. So when you want that slight advantage, as I always talk about, the relationships are important, and we have the advantage. So thank you. And now on to talking about what we're doing new. We're going to be doing a Zoom meeting again, and it's coming August 7th. We're going to have Brett Borkman back to talk about property lines and boundaries and prelims, which are very important. I got in this discussion this last week with one of my clients. He was insistent that he got a better title rate. Now, title is no different, if you don't know this, from one company to the next, because they're regulated. It's just like anything else that's regulated, so they can't be such differences in pricing based on pricing, whether they base title on the sales price and they base title insurance on the buyer's side on the loan amount. So if you have no loan, you don't pay anything, but you have insurance. So he was getting a much lower price, and I was explaining to him that he was getting a CTLA, which does not cover as much as an Alta policy. And so if you want to learn more about it, again, you can always feel free to call me, Andrew Spitz, at 818-817-4284, or my email, which is very simple. It's just my name, Andrew at Spitz.com. So Andrew at AndrewSpitz.com. Okay, so we have some stats for you. We're today highlighting Tarzana and Woodland Hills, and so this will put it in perspective for you. In all of Tarzana right now, there's only 39 homes available. Listed in the last 7 is 5, just 5. Active, under contract, and pending currently 49 homes. In the last 7 is 10. So listed in the last 7 was 5, but 10 went in. That's a negative effect, so we're shrinking again. Closed in the last 30 days is 25, and closed in the last 7 days is 7. Those are pretty good numbers, aren't they, Marjola?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're into Woodland Hills, where we have a bigger inventory. There's active 115, but this does get interesting. Listed in the last 7 is 22. Active under contract 144. That's a lot of sales.
Yeah.
Closed, active under contract in the last 7 is 22. So in the last 7 days, the listed was 22, and under contract and pending is 22. So that's even. That's an even market. Usually Woodland Hills is a slower market. Tarzana has become a hotbed because Encino's gotten so pricey. It's getting higher and higher, as I mentioned. And so right now, Woodland Hills is surging. So that's amazing. Closed in the last 30 days, 73 in Woodland Hills, and closed in the last 7, 20. So that's pretty interesting. Closed 20 in 7 days and listed 22. So not much positive there, but it is a low inventory, as I said before. Now the total stats: active in the Toluca Lake, Studio City, Sherman Oaks, Encino, Tarzana, Woodland Hills. There's only 492 homes. I'm not talking condos, 492 homes. Not a lot. Active under contract in all those cities. 417. Wow. Kind of like what's under contract and active, almost equal. Closed in the last 30 days in all those cities, 258. Wow. And here at the Spitz Camera Group, I gave you some stats last week. We just closed a couple more escrows. Yay!
Yay!
Congratulations to our buyers on McCormick and Terrace View. That was the one I did with Mike Lickman. We've closed 23 transactions totaling $43 million since April 1st. And we have 6 more escrows in at $13,757,000. We have a total of $57,628,000 since April. So we're doing well. And Just to point out, we also had this week, which blew me away. I didn't know this. They haven't done this in the past, but Berkshire Hathaway announced in the first 2 quarters, which ended in June, Spitz Cameron Group ranked in the whole U.S. 15 out of over 52,000. We're doing
Amazing.
well.
Amazing.
So we now have room for you because we sold everything we have. We have new listings coming. And so if you are looking to buy or sell, we have the time and we have the talent to get your home sold. Or, again, as I said, if you don't want to do that and you just need a referral, we're a concierge service. We're happy to help. We believe what comes around goes around. We'd like to build our relationships and be there for you every step of the way. Okay, so I gave you that stats. Something very interesting. A lot of people know this, don't know this. Encino was the most magnificent of the communities, so large that the Louise Avenue split right where Louise and Ventura is, and that's where that great oak was, which fell. That enormous oak was 150 feet canopy, which is almost like a rainforest. 150 feet canopy, 8 feet in diameter, and 24-foot circumference. Think how big that is. I remember used to looking at it. I was always staring at it and just marvel at it and go, God, how can anything be so big?
When did it fall?
I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember. It's been a while, but it's probably over 10 years or more. In 58, the oak was threatened when a development plan to bulldoze the tree, and the local people petitioned against it, and that's why they made that divider right there at Louise and Ventura. But I love oak trees. It's Spanish, and that's what Encino stands for. Question from Shelley in Studio City, which is a good question she had. Thank you, Shelley. What closing costs am I responsible for? Buyers and sellers. They are different. Everything's different. So, in a nutshell, in a seller, it is whatever you're selling the house, you multiply it by 0.94. What's the 94? It's 100 minus 6. What's the 6? 1% for closing costs. Standard commission of 5%. They vary. Could be higher, could be lower. Not getting into that. Multiply it. They'll give you basically very close. I do this all the time, as you know, Margie, with my sellers.
And you're always a dollar or two off. I mean, it's always
right.
perfect.
It's always perfect. So it's right in there. For a buyer, it changes because a buyer has different fees. They have maybe points on the loan, buy down on the loans. Title insurance, homeowners, you prepay it in advance. So it varies. You may want to speak to your realtor or your mortgage person and get a breakdown of what your costs are. You also might pay your loan up front, for when you go into, so you're ahead. But anyway, there's miscellaneous fees. So I just want to let you know that. Support your local businesses and restaurants. I love this one. This is somewhere I used to go all the time. It's now, they had several locations. They have one location now. Monty's Steakhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Family. Wonderful, wonderful family. Wonderful restaurant. Still is a wonderful restaurant. I used to go on dates as a teenager because I worked in Westwood.
Me too.
I felt like a big shot. I'd go to Westwood, be on the top floor, and get those beautiful views.
Definitely.
Oh, it just brings back good memories. And they still are amazing. The food is amazing. The martinis are amazing. Love that restaurant. Great family that's running it. Everything in there is amazing. I remember having the best, it's not kosher, excuse me, spare ribs. I loved it. It was great. All right, so we have birthdays and some really important birthdays. People that are very dear and near to me. Lana Wasserman, who used to work with us.
Lana.
Happy birthday. It was on the 27th of July. Phil Fox, who was the head of service here at Encino. He's now in Beverly Hills. Amazing. He was rated #1. Love you, Phil. Miss you, Phil. Used to see him at Equinox. Old friend of mine that I grew up with, Paul Virtue's birthday on the 29th, along with Phil. Yesterday, an old friend of mine, well, I don't want to call him old, he'll call me old, because I'm older than him, Jeff Lead. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jeff.
And then I want to give a couple shout-outs and explain. Anniversaries. Mary Lee, of our company, she celebrated 25 years with her husband. She is wonderful. I love you, Mary Lee.
Aww.
You're wonderful. Great to work for you. You run the best company there is to be at. And George Rapupia, who is celebrating 38 years of marriage. I met George when I first got into real estate. I went to Merrill Lynch, not the stock firm, but the real estate company, and met him in our training facility, which we went to school, which I was hoping to be out of school, but we had homework, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe you have it. But George is still kicking butt. He's doing really well. He's out of Thousand Oaks. Kudos to you and your wife. Congratulations to Mary Lee. As I mentioned, I might have mentioned last week, the Fortune 500 best most admired companies are Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Walt Disney, and Berkshire Hathaway. So my wife's company that she's worked a lot for, Disney, beats me in the standings. Of course, the wife's always right. If you want a happy life, the wife's always right. Just for any of the men out there, you want to learn something, follow advice, and
Happy life, happy wife.
You'll learn. And if Berkshire Hathaway is one of the most respected companies, why would you work anywhere else? I'm just confused. That's why I work here, because it is the best company, best service, best management, best all the way around. Want to let's see what else we got here going. My ask: if you're struggling with a home project and need a referral, call us. As I mentioned earlier, that's what we're here for. We want to help you. It's not always about the buy and the sell. It's about the relationships. And I have a lot of connections. I just want to help you. I wish you a safe and sane week. Spits up!